Welcome everyone to our crystallography class. Here we study the arrangement of atoms in crystalline solids. We already have studied the basic concepts of crystallography and we have studied the Weiss parameter and Miller indices. We also have studied the different form of crystals. So we have completed the parameter indices, common crystal forms like dome, prism, pyramid and pinacoids. In this line, we will now study the introduction to different crystal systems, and further we are going to study the different crystal systems like cubic. In cubic, we will study in detail the Galena type. In tetragonal, we will study the zircon type. In hexagonal, we will study about the beryl type, and in trigonal, the calcite type, orthorhombic barite type, monoclinic, gypsum type, and in triclinic, we will study the axenite type of glass. So in this class we will study introduction to different crystal system. So let's begin. Introduction to different crystal systems. So crystal systems are made by stacking the unit cell in the space. So if you need to stack a unit cell in the space, this puts restrictions on the shape of unit cell. So cube should be there. A pentagon cannot work because you cannot arrange a pentagon in such a manner so that they can completely enclose the space. There will be voids left. So there are different types of unit cells which are possible. They cannot be infinite, but they can be of certain type based on their level of symmetry. So by repeating the units by following certain set of symmetry rules, we can get different crystals. So what is symmetry? Symmetry of an object is in fact the set of mathematical rules that describes the shape of object. So we know that there is only one object in whole geometrical universe that has got perfect set of symmetry. What is that object? That object is in fact a sphere. In a sphere we have infinite plane of symmetry that can pass through its center. There can be infinite set of rotational axes no matter how little or how much you rotate on any of its infinite number of axes, the sphere is going to be appear similar in all its orientation. So sphere is in fact a holy grail of symmetry. So what is a space group? By definition of crystal, a periodic arrangement of repeating motifs, for example cyans or atoms, they create the space group. The symmetry of a periodic pattern of repeated motif is the total set of symmetry operation that is allowed by a pattern. So let us now rotate 90° about the center or point of a pattern which is thought to be indefinitely extended. This pattern will be unchanged as a result of operation. So that is, this operation maps the pattern into itself. There is also a linear shift, and this linear shift is known as translation. So this linear shift of this pattern by certain amount results in same pattern again. So we may have a rotation, we may have translation. A total set of such symmetry operations applicable in the pattern symmetry and mathematically they are described by so-called space group. So now we have translational symmetry. A space group includes two main types of symmetries or symmetry operation. The first is translation symmetry, we have seen in the earlier slide, and the point symmetries. The translations, they are executable shifting movements proceeding along a straight line and on a certain specified distance, such that the operation doesn't result in any change of the shifted pattern. So you will have to make the translation in such a manner so there is no change in the shifted pattern. We can see this picture. This is high magnification structure image of mineral cordierite. So here we have insert, this shows the idealized structure of cordierite determined by X-ray. So if we can repeat this unit cell or motif again and again by translation in different directions, we get the whole pattern. So typically the translation symmetries are macroscopically not visible because the translation lengths are in order of angstroms. So after studying the translation symmetries, we will study the point symmetries. Unlike the translation symmetries, the point symmetries are macroscopically visible ones. The translation symmetries are not visible because translations are in order of angstrom. The point symmetry operations includes the reflection in a point, that is inversion is known as center of symmetry, or we may have reflection in a plane or mirror symmetry. We may have a rotation about an imaginary axis, that is our rotation symmetry, or we may have a rotation and after the rotation there is an inversion and this is known as roto-inversion. The center of symmetry, for example, this item is consists of two asymmetric faces. Every part of item can also be found on the opposite side of the same point. If you take this point and this point, so you are going to get every item in same fashion as it is in this direction, and also at the same distance from this point. So this is our center of symmetry. So if we see a reflection from a point, we see the similar shapes in both the direction. So this is our center of symmetry. Now mirror symmetry. The mirror symmetry is something you see the symmetry in the objects, just we see ourselves in the mirrors. So like you can see that these words are being reflected through a mirror and you are getting an inverse image of these particular objects. So this is a mirror symmetry. This is mirror symmetry in vertical plane and this is mirror symmetry in horizontal plane, and here these two things are together. The same thing is being formed in mirror, in vertical mirror or in horizontal mirror. So most of the people and vertebrates basically they have mirror symmetry. In biology, the most of the symmetries are bilateral symmetries. There are another possibility of symmetry as well, like trilateral, quadrilateral, etc. We may have a rotational symmetry. So if a point around we rotate, this point is in fact the symmetry axis. This is the point where the symmetry axis passes. For example, we can see the two-fold symmetry. So if you take Z and rotate it, you are going to get this type of N shape. So this is two-fold symmetry. Now you may have three-fold symmetry. So you can rotate an object 3 times through whole 360 degree and you are going to see the occurrence of similar type of features thrice. So if we rotate this through 360 degree, in whole 360 rotation there will be occurrence of similar feature. 3 times, and we may have 4-fold symmetry. So while rotation of 360 degree, and the similar features may occur for 4 times, or we may have 6-fold symmetry. So the objects look same n times in 360 degree rotation, then object will be said to have n-fold symmetry. If any object looks similar after 360 degree of rotation, this object do not possess any rotational symmetry. It has only center of symmetry. We may have n-fold of roto-inversion symmetry. The object will transform into itself after following two-step operations. For example, a rotation through 90 degree along the axis followed by inversion. So this leads to formation of similar features. So this is known as symmetry followed by inversion. This may be any n-fold symmetry followed by a roto-inversion. For example, 2-fold symmetry followed by rotation or inversion, and 3-fold symmetry followed by inversion, 4-fold symmetry followed by inversion, or 6-fold symmetry followed by an inversion. So one object may have more than one kind of symmetry. For example, these have rotation symmetry without reflection. These show rotation symmetry and reflection as well. So there are set of basic symmetry elements for crystals. One-fold rotation, that is rotation through 360 degree. The symbol is none, because one-fold rotation do not shows symmetry in axis. Two-fold rotation or rotation through 180 degree gives the same type of features, or we get same type feature twice while rotating it in 360 degree. So symbol is given as 2. If we have three-fold rotation, or if we rotate the object through 120 degree and we get the same feature, or we rotate the object through 360 degree and we get the same feature thrice, so symbol is given 3. If we have 4-fold rotation, then symbol is given 4. If we have 6-fold rotation, or by rotating the object through 60 degree we get the same feature, the symbol is 6. In case of crystals, only 2, 3, 4 or 6 axes of rotation can occur. The mirror plane is given symbol M and center of symmetry is given symbol P. The roto-inversion axes are given symbol as bar followed by that number of symmetry. Here it is represented by star. So here we can see this axis is 2-fold symmetry axis, this fold axis is 3-fold symmetry axis, this axis is a 4-fold symmetry axis, and this axis over here is a 6-fold symmetry axis. So we can write 2 over here, 3 over here, 4 over here and 6 over here. Now with all these point symmetries, that is rotation, reflection and roto-inversion, combinations can be made which themselves are again and again cover different operation, and this results in total 32 unique possibilities. Thus all the crystal can be classified into 32 crystal symmetry classes according to their symmetry content. So for example, the highest symmetrical is cube class that possesses following set of symmetry elements. So a cubic class possesses 3 4-fold axis of rotation, 4 3-fold rotation axis, 6 2-fold rotation axis, 3 primary mirror planes, 6 secondary mirror planes and a center of symmetry. The lowest symmetrical class is triclinic class that involves 1-fold rotation axis. Thus, it has got no symmetry at all apart from center of symmetry. So in turn, these symmetry classes, because of the sum of them, so similarity among each other, these 32 crystal classes had been divided into 6 crystal systems. And these 6 crystal systems are the cubic system. This is also known as isometric system. The second is tetragonal system. The third is hexagonal system. And we have orthorhombic system, we have monoclinic system, and triclinic system. So if we see the number of symmetries, this is written in decreasing order of number of symmetries. So every crystal system involves a number of crystal classes. That's why in together we have 32 crystal classes in all 6 crystal systems. So every crystal system possesses a crystallographic axis that is given symbol A, B and C. This refers to axes in order like ABC, small abc. The point of intersection of 3 axes is called axial cross. By using these crystallographic axes, we can define 6 large group of crystal system that all crystal forms may be placed in. So now we have cubic class, that is isometric system. In isometric system, this includes all crystal forms that can be referred to the 3 axes of equal lengths which intersects at right angles. So we have A equals to B equals to C and alpha equals to beta equals to gamma, and that is equals to 90 degree. These axes are interchangeable and have equal value. The cube axis, that they all denoted by letter small a, in order to be able to be indicate by any required face in form. However, it is necessary to specify each axis. This is done by placing the crystal in what is known as the reading position, or the position in which the crystal is best studied, so that one axis is called A3 is vertical, the one A2 that runs from right and left, and the third that runs from front to back is A1. 3 symmetry classes belong to the cubic crystal systems. The first is Galena type, which we will be studying in detail in the next classes. Then we have pyrite type or diploid class, and we have tetrahedrite type or hexatetrahedral class in cubic system, out of which we will be studying the Galena type in our coming classes. So this is crystal again belongs to cubic or isometric system. This is in fact a hexaoctahedron, which also belongs to the cubic crystal system. Now you can understand why crystal forms in the isometric system have highest degree of symmetry when compared to all other crystal system. You can compare it with a sphere. So in cubic we have 3 different classes, or in cubic system we have 3 different classes, that is Galena type or hexaoctahedral class, pyrite type or diploid class, and tetrahedrite type class. So Galena type possesses 9 plane of symmetries, the 3 axial planes, 6 diagonal planes, and 13 axes of symmetry, in which the 3 axes are of fold-fold symmetry, 4 axes are of 3-fold symmetry, and 6 axes are of 2-fold symmetry, and also a center of symmetry. In Galena type we have different forms like cube, that is 100, rhombohedron, rhombododecaedron, octahedron, tetrahexahedron, trisoctahedron, trapezohedron, and hexatetrahedron, etc. In pyrite type we have plane of symmetry, axis of symmetry, and center of symmetry. So in plane of symmetry we have 3 axial planes. In axis of symmetry we have 3 2-fold symmetry axis and 4 3-fold symmetry axis, and one center of symmetry. In this class, again we have cube, rhombo, dodecahedron, octahedron, pyritohedron, trisoctahedron, trapezohedron, and diploid, etc. The third cubic class is tetrahedrite or hexatetrahedral class, in which again we have plane of symmetry, axis of symmetry, and center of symmetry. We have 6 diagonal plane of symmetry. We have 3 two-fold axis of symmetry and 4 three-fold axis of symmetry, and there is no center of symmetry. The forms include the cubic, rhombo-dodecahedron, tetrahedron, tetrahexahedron, deltoid, dodecahedron, tris, tetrahedron, hexatetrahedron, etc. So after cubic class, we have tetragonal system. All crystals are classed in tetragonal system whose faces can be referred to 2 equal horizontal crystallographic axes and a third vertical axis, which is either shorter or longer than other 2 axes. All 3 axes are at right angle to each other. So here we have these 2 axes are of equal length, and third axis is of unequal length, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. So alpha, beta, and gamma, they all are equal to 90 degrees. The 2 equal horizontal axes have same value, so they are interchangeable. They are both denoted by letter A. And for the ease of reference, that the one which is running from front to back is called A1, and that one which is running from right to left is called A2, and the vertical axis is called C. So in reading position, we have the C axis as vertical, A1 is from front to back, and A2 is from right to left. The tetragonal system contains zircon type, which has highest symmetry in the tetragonal class. So we have 5 plane of symmetry, in which 3 axial plane, 1 is horizontal and 2 is vertical. We have 2 diagonal vertical planes, and we have 5 axes of symmetry, out of which there are 4 axes of two-fold symmetry and 1 axis of 4-fold symmetry, which is vertical crystallographic axis, and there is again a center of symmetry. So in this crystal system, if the length of C axis becomes equals to length of A1 and A2, then this system would become cubic system. The next crystal system is hexagonal system. The hexagonal system contains those crystals that can be referred to the 4 axes, 3 equal horizontal axes making angles 120 degree with each other, and 1 vertical axis perpendicular to the plane containing these horizontal axes. The axial nomenclature can be done such as the 3 horizontal axes are lettered A1, A2, A3, and the vertical axis as C. Note the positions of positive ends of horizontal axis and the positive and negative ends of these axes are alternate. So in hexagonal we have beryl type. In beryl type we have plane of symmetry, axis of symmetry, and center of symmetry. We have 4 axial plane symmetry and 3 diagonal plane symmetry. So in total we have 7 plane of symmetry. We have 7 axes of symmetry that includes 6 two-fold axes and 1 4-fold vertical crystallographic axis and 1 center of symmetry. So in hexagonal crystal system we have 4 classes, that is beryl type, calcite type, tourmaline type, and quartz type. In beryl type we have 7 plane of symmetry, 7 axis of symmetry, and a center of symmetry. Out of plane of symmetry we have 4 axial plane symmetry, 6 diagonal plane symmetry. In axis we have 6 two-fold axis of symmetry and 1 6-fold axis of symmetry, and we have a center of symmetry. The forms include basal pinacoid, hexagonal prism with 1 0 1 bar 0 and hexagonal prism with 1 1 2 bar 0. Dihexagonal prism, hexagonal bipyramid, hexagonal bipyramid with different notations. For example, hexagonal bipyramids with 1 1 2 bar 1 and hexagonal bipyramids with 1 not 1 bar 1. Dihexagonal bipyramids with a symbol 2 1 3 bar 1, etc. In calcite type, we have 3 plane of symmetry, that are diagonal, 4 axes of symmetry, out of which 3 two-fold axes and 1 three-fold axis, and 1 center of symmetry. The forms includes basal pinacoid, hexagonal prism, and hexagonal prism with 1 knot 1 bar knot, hexagonal prism with 1 1 2 knot 2 bar knot, dihexagonal prism that has got symbol 2 1 3 bar knot, hexagonal bipyramid that is 1 1 2 bar knot, rhombohedron that has got symbol equals to 1 knot 1 bar 1 bar. Then we have a sclenohedron in the calcite type, that is 2 1 3 bar 1. We have tourmaline type of crystal class in hexagonal crystal system. So this possesses 3 plane of symmetry and axis of symmetry, that is only 1 axis of symmetry, and that 1 axis of symmetry is threefold axis of symmetry, and there is no center of symmetry in tourmaline type of class in hexagonal crystal system. The forms include basal planes with not 1 and not 1 bar, hexagonal prism that is 1 1 2 bar knot, trigonal prism that is 1 knot 1 bar knot, ditigonal prism, hemimorphic hexagonal pyramid, trigonal pyramid, and ditrigonal pyramid or hemi sclenohedron, etc. We have last class in the hexagonal system is quartz type. So it possesses no plane of symmetry and it possesses axis of symmetry. There are 4 axes of symmetry, out of which 3 are two-fold axes and 1 is three-fold axis, and there is no center of symmetry in quartz. And the forms include basal pinacoid, trigonal prism, hexagonal prism, ditrigonal prism, trigonal bipyramid, rhombohedron, trigonal trapezohedron, etc. Our next crystal system is orthorhombic crystal system. So all the crystals whose faces can be referred to the 3 unequal axes at right angles, they belong to orthorhombic system. One axis is C axis, that is our vertical axis. The one horizontal axis that runs from front to back is A axis in the reading position, and other horizontal axis that runs left to right or right to left is V axis. Formerly the B axis was referred as macro axis or long axis, and A axis was referred as brachyaxis or short axis. So now we know that there are certain specimens which do not follow the rule of macro and brachyaxis. So we rather say that we have 3 axes of unequal lengths. In this crystal system, we have A raised to B raised to C is equals to 1.6290 raised to 1 is to 1.3123. So in general class of this orthorhombic crystal system, that is varied type, we have 3 plane of symmetry, we have 3 axes of symmetry, and these axes are of two-fold symmetry and 1 center of symmetry. So now we will study the monoclinic system. The monoclinic system includes all crystals that can be referred to 3 unequal axes, 2 of which are at right angles and third makes an angle that is not right angle with a plane containing other 2 axes. The monoclinic system has one axis normal to the plane containing the other 2 axes that are not at right angle. The C axis is vertical, the B axis or ortho axis is at right angles to the C axis. The axis inclined to the plane containing C and V axis is A axis, and A axis in monoclinic system is known as clinoaxis. So, in monoclinic system we have clinoaxis, that is A axis, we have orthoaxis, that is B axis. In monoclinic crystal, in the reading position, when the clinoaxis runs up and away from the observer, the orthoaxis runs right to left, and the vertical axis C is in fact vertical. The obtuse angle between the clinoaxis and vertical axis is of importance and is of course fixed for each mineral species. So, the ratios are 0.372 is to 1 is to 4.412. The beta angle is 113.50. So, this contains gypsum class in which we have one plane of symmetry containing clinoaxis and vertical axis. There is one axis of two-fold symmetry, and that is in fact our orthoaxis, and we have one center of symmetry. Our next crystal system is triclinic crystal system. In the triclinic system, the crystallographic axes are of all unequal length and none are at right angle to one another. One axis is placed vertical and it is called as C axis or vertical axis. The second axis is A axis that runs up and away from the observer. The intercept made by the unit form on this axis is usually smaller than on the third axis, so that A axis called brachyaxis by analogy with the orthorhombic system. The third axis is B axis or macroaxis, and its slope depends upon how it was chosen in the original description of any particular mineral. The angle between the positive ends of C and B is called alpha, that between A and C is called beta, and that between A and B is called gamma. There has been no standard way to orient triclinic system, and even for the same mineral many different orientations have been used. Thus, for axinite more than a dozen settings are recorded. One such is in fact A is to B is to C equals to 0.49 is to 1 is to 0.48. The alpha equals to 82 degree 54 minutes, beta equals to 91 degree 52 minutes, and gamma equals to 131 degree 32 minutes. So, by means of unit cells, we can manage to reduce all possible crystal structure to relatively smaller number of basic unit cell geometry. Now, let us consider that issue how atoms can be stacked together within a given unit cell. So, they are arranged at lattice points. So, lattice points are the theoretical points arranged periodically in 3D space rather than actual atoms. And again, there is a limited number of possibility, and that possibility makes what we call Bravais lattice. We have 14 type of Bravais lattice. So, here are those 14 type of Bravais lattice: in cubic, in tetragonal, in orthorhombic, in rhombohedral, in monoclinic, and in triclinic systems. These three-dimensional configurations of points are used to describe the orderly arrangement of atoms in the crystals. Each point represents more than one atom in the actual crystal, and if the points are connected by lines, the crystal lattice is formed. So there are different Bravais lattices in different crystal system. For example, in triclinic we have only one Bravais lattice. In monoclinic we have two. In orthorhombic we have three. In tetragonal we have two. In trigonal we have two. In hexagonal we have one. In cubic we have three type of Bravais lattice, and these are unit cell properties like the relationship of axes and the angle between the axes. For example, in triclinic we have all axes unequal, so they are represented as ABC and alpha, beta, gamma because all the angles are different. In monoclinics we have the three axes of unequal length and two angles are of 90 degree and one angle is not 90. And in orthorhombic we have again A and B, C axes are of unequal length, but the angle between them all is 90 degree. In tetragonal we have two axes of equal length and third axis, that is vertical axis, is unequal and the angle between them is 90 degree, that is alpha, beta and gamma is 90 degree. In trigonal we have two axes of equal length and one axis that is different from two axes, and two angles are 90 degree and one is 120 degree. Then we have hexagonal, we have again two axes of equal length and third axis is of unequal. And in cubic we have all axes of equal length and alpha, beta and gamma, they are all 90 degree. P is for primitive cell, F is for face centered, B is for body centered, C is for base centered, and R represents the rhombohedral, that is for hexagonal class only. So in isometric we have three type of cells: simple cubic, body centered and face centered. In tetragonal we have P and I type of cells. In orthorhombic we have P, I, F and C type of Bravais lattice, and in monoclinic we have P and C type. In triclinic we have P type of cell. In trigonal class we have R cell, that is unique to hexagonal crystal system. The two interior points divide the long diagonal of the cell in third one. This is the only Bravais lattice with more than one interior point, here and here. The rhombohedral cell can be thought as a cube distorted along its diagonals. So we have in total 6 crystal systems, that is cubic, tetragonal, hexagonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic and triclinic, and that is based on the symmetry elements, the length of axes and the angle between these axes. In triclinic we have one Bravais lattice, monoclinic we have two Bravais lattice, in orthorhombic we have one Bravais lattice, in hexagonal we have one Bravais lattice, in trigonal or rhombohedron we have 4 Bravais lattice, in tetragonal we have 2, and in cubic we have 3 Bravais lattice. So today we have studied the basic concepts of crystal systems. In the next class we will take the types in the crystal system. For example, we are going to study the Galena type in the cubic system in detail in the coming classes. Thank you.